KSI wins a split decision over Logan Paul in the rematch a few moments ago at the Staples Center in LA, Los Angeles, USA. Let's talk about it. I enjoyed this fight. I mean, they're not professional. They had their first professional fight. This is the second fight. The first fight was a draw on the amateur rules. This was a professional fight on the professional rules. No headgear this time. They registered as professional boxers, and I enjoyed it. I mean, no, it wasn't as Eddie Hearn said. It wasn't Leonard versus Hagler. it wasn't Holyfield versus Bowe. They're not that skilled, but they were evenly matched. They hyped the fight well. They showed a lot of dislike. Shannon Briggs, Logan Paul's trainer, showed a lot of aggressiveness towards KSI's trainer. I think his name was Vida O'Reilly. My daughter told me about this fight. I watched the first fight with her a few weeks ago, and she reminded me on Thursday, Dad, they're fighting, don't forget. So I put the fight on, and yeah, it's a good fight. I think the roles kind of reversed from the last fight. So in this particular fight, round one, KSI the aggressor, and he gets off to the early start opposed to in the first fight. And what I liked about what KSI was doing was, first thing he was doing was just jab him to the stomach. Really like, taking the starch out of Logan's belly and disrupting his rhythm. And alongside that, he was throwing a looping right hand. Now the right hand he was throwing, it did look sloppy, but he threw it regular in round one. So he got off to a good start by putting Logan Paul on the back foot, by letting him know, yes, I'm jabbing to the stomach, my right hand's coming too. And he wasn't looking when he threw the right hand, but it kept landing. And to me, that kind of had Logan Paul looking nervous and on the back foot. And round two, I repeated that as well. Round three, once again, KSI in control, Logan Paul trying to get into the fight. And me personally, it was a right hook to the ear, and I thought it was a knockdown. But the referee, I think his name was Gennadiy, I think was it Gennadiy? Or Jack Reese. The referee called it a slip, so it was no knockdown. But knockdown or no knockdown, that was KSI's round. Round four, this is when I saw Logan Paul. I think he missed like an uppercut the round prior. That's quite smart. He threw an uppercut while KSI was running in. But in round four, this time he scored the uppercut, which knocked KSI down. Only issue was it on the replay, it looks like he was holding the back of his head with his left hand while throwing the right uppercut. And then once he hit the floor, he threw another punch. So the ref stopped the fight, sent both guys to the corner, and said to KSI, "You've been hit while you was down. I'm going to give you a lot of time to recover. Just chill and relax." And KSI looked worried, like, I'm not ready to go back in yet. Anyhow, KSI was given about 40 seconds to recover, and it was scored a knockdown, but you also took 2 points off KSI for the offense. I mean, it could be harsh. I don't know if I'd have scored a knockdown myself, because obviously he had his hand on his head while he hit him down. But when it comes to referees, it's about human error, or human discretion. So that's fine. Round five, Logan Paul's round. KSI is still hurt from the previous round. I'm not sure if he was taking a round off to recover, but that was Logan Paul's round. So at this point, you're thinking, okay, the first fight, Logan Paul gets off to a fast start. KSI comes in later in the fight, and in the rematch, KSI gets off to a fast start, and Logan Paul comes on strong down the stretch. Last round, I don't know what they did to KSI, but they must have vibed him up and said, "Listen, this is your last round. All you got to do is win this round, and you win the fight." And I think he won the round. He was using his looping right hand again, backing up Logan Paul throughout the round. Now going to the scorecards, even though I thought KSI won that round, I thought he just won the round, and I wasn't certain he was going to win the fight, and I wouldn't have had no issue if Logan Paul would have won the fight, because it was a tight round. And you may have scored the first round for Logan Paul as well. You never know. Do you know what I mean? Or scored it even. But they ran out the cards. The first card went to Logan Paul. I forgot the score. The second card went to KSI, and then the third card to KSI. So KSI the winner. KSI looked so happy. He was on his knees like he was crying. In the post-fight interview, they had Radio Raheem, who is a YouTuber on the Seconds Out channel. He was doing the post-fight interviewing, and he's asking KSI how he feels, and he feels that he didn't want to be known as a quitter, so he kept fighting no matter what obstacles were in his way. And then when Radio Raheem asked him about now the fight's over, you know, how do you feel about your opponent? KSI, he paused for a long time and he looked at Logan. I found it quite funny, as if he was thinking about it, or like, I don't know, like he didn't want to give him the credit, and then he said all right, and they shook hands and they both gave each other a hug, which was nice, you know. Logan Paul in his post-fight interview, he said that his knockdown in the third round, which wasn't labeled a knockdown, he said that was a slip. The crowd booed. But he gave KSI credit to said, yo, you're a beast. He asked for a trilogy for a third fight, but KSI said, nah, I don't want none of that. And that was the end of it. I watched the Billy Joe Saunders fight versus Marcelo Canceres. That fight went 11 rounds. I had Billy Joe like ahead first 3 rounds. Then from round 4, Marcellus got into it. I guess the issue with this fight is they're both counterpunchers. So Billy Joe, normally a counterpuncher, good head movement, good footwork, whatever. He waits for you to make mistakes and punishes you. They're both kind of doing the same thing. And from round 3 onwards, Canceres was sort of getting his straight right hand into it. Billy Joe was struggling a bit, and I think round 10 he started to use his head movement again and sort of like take control of the fight. And then round 11, yeah, he landed some good right hands, knocked him down. 3 knockdowns in round 11. The second knockdown was an uppercut, a good uppercut, definitely a highlight reel. The third knockdown, bit of a sloppy one, but Canceres was more tired, and the ref just waved it off. In the post-fight interview, Billy Joe had said, you know, he wants Canelo, but he admitted, I looked really slack in this fight. I don't deserve it yet, but maybe they might want to give me the fight now. I'm looking slack, but you know, I took this fight on short notice. I give Billy Joe his credit. I don't know how long. I don't think he had long to prepare for this opponent. So it's hard to prep for an opponent when you don't know who you're fighting. And sometimes, you know, challengers become greater opponents when they're fighting a champion. Canceres, never seen him fight before, but he looked up for this fight, and he had some good moments. But you know, when it's all said and done, highlight reels is what a lot of casual fans go by, and he'll have some good highlight reels from that fight. And I don't think that Canelo will be too scared to fight him. But once again, I think Billy Joe will raise his game for that fight. But I don't think Billy Joe beats Canelo. I think Canelo too patient, and he'll you know, what I liked about Canceres, what he did today, which Canelo will take note of, is that throughout the fight, Canceres was missing a lot early in the fight, but he was going to that body, and that was slowing Billy Joe down. And as we know, Canelo knows about slowing the body down. He knows about body attacks. So that's my review of the KSI fight and the Billy Joe fight. I'll review the Devin Haney fight later. All right, good day, bless.